Welcome again to Joe Stunner Boxing. I hope you're doing well, having a good week. I want to talk about Oleksandr Usyk because all this talk about Fury and, possibly facing AJ, and especially after the Ngannou highlight reel knockout from AJ, Usyk seems to have been almost forgotten about, at least in some quarters. Now, I understand that, if you're living where I'm living, which is in the UK, that... probably the media are going to concentrate on the Brits, Fury and Joshua. But if you're a boxing fan, you've got to be interested in Usyk because this guy is and I know this is an overused phrase, but he is a generational talent. He is a brilliant, brilliant fighter. Now, he's 37, and, do I really need to go through his career? Probably not. He was undisputed cruiserweight champ. He won what was that thing called? The World Boxing Super Series or whatever the hell it was called. He beat, amongst others, Krzysztof Glowacki, what's the guy's name? Machunu? Yeah. Tabiso Machunu, is that the guy's name? He beat Michael Hunter, Marco Huck, Marius Bredes, Gassiev, knocked out Bellew. He then moved up to heavyweight, beat Chisora, Joshua twice, Dubois. Look, this is a gilt-edged resume, and most importantly of all, in my opinion, he's done all of that on the road. And in fact, he hasn't really come close to losing. Not really. Now, with all this piss and wind that's going on regarding Fury and Joshua and everything, do you think Oleksandr Usyk is sitting at home watching Netflix with a big tub of ice cream on his lap? No. He is working hard behind the scenes, as he's always done. He is being the consummate professional, somebody who, regardless of what anyone else does or says or implies, just gets on with his business quietly, away from the spotlight. And then come fight night, he is prepared mentally, physically, and we know what he's capable of doing. I just think he's a hugely impressive example to anyone that wants to be a boxer. Now, a lot of people have talked about him being a blown up cruiserweight. I don't hold with that idea. I think he is a big man. He's 6'3", and he probably weighs now. He's kind of settled into the heavyweight division. His body has had time to adjust. He's probably about 16 stone in natural weight. Don't forget, he's 37, so you put on weight naturally anyway. Natural. I'm talking about natural weight, not bulk. Not like David Haye did when he moved up to heavyweight and he was putting all that stress and strain on his ligaments and everything else. Because if it's fake weight, your body, and if it's the type of weight that your skeleton and your ligaments and your muscles are not meant to be carrying, you're going to pick up injuries. And what happened to David Haye? He had shoulder reconstruction and all the rest of it. When have you ever heard of Usyk being injured? Yes, there have been little individual injuries and little niggles, but generally speaking, having moved up from cruiserweight, having had a long, successful career at cruiserweight, and for naturally, much bigger men, Joshua and Dubois, he's shown that so long as you're disciplined, so long as you do the right thing, live the life, get on with your business, don't worry about what other people think or are doing, that you don't need to be a giant. The heavyweights we talk about, your Furies and even the Klitschko's and Joshua, these gigantic men who would have outweighed, Muhammad Ali and Joe Louis by, in some cases 60 pounds, 70 pounds. You don't need to be an absolute giant to beat those giants. And Usyk, I think, having settled in around the 16 stone mark, is proving that. He's got Fury coming up, we hope, on the 18th of May. I'm still not convinced that fight goes ahead, not by a long shot, but I hope it does. I'm going to love it if I'm wrong, because I want to see this fight. But that's a two-fight deal. So let's say that let's say that Fury wins. Do you think Usyk's going to be given that rematch, even though it's contracted? I think the excellent Turkey wants to see Fury versus Anthony Joshua. He's also very friendly with Fury for whatever reason. And I'm sure he respects Usyk, but there isn't that sort of chumminess between the two of them. So I can see him trying to, and he is he's with real money. He's playing, fantasy boxing, putting all these incredible fights and cards on that just defies belief. I can see him somehow, if Fury beats Usyk, trying to arrange a Wembley Stadium Fury versus Joshua gig. Now, if Usyk beats Fury, then I think there's more chance that the second contracted fight would go ahead, and then maybe with the hope that Fury wins the rematch and then Fury moves on. Rather than having a rubber match with Usyk, he would move on and fight Joshua, because there's no doubt that, by the way, the excellent Turkey has said he wants to do a September big Wembley Stadium bonanza. God knows who he's going to put on that. I know he's fans of Mark Chamberlain. He's a fan of Mark Chamberlain, so we'll probably get him on the card. But, Dubois, of course, is there. And, he's great friends supposedly with Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn. So, anyway, getting back to the purpose of this video, which is Usyk. Yeah, I think if he loses to Fury, then the second fight won't go ahead. If he wins, it wouldn't surprise me at all if we did have the rematch. But, like I say, I do have doubts whether the first fight will go ahead, never mind the second one. But I could be wrong. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Fury gave up the belt and went back to Britain, said no to the Saudi thing, and just had a big blockbuster, probably with Saudi money, at Wembley Stadium with Joshua, and he just kicked the Usyk can down the road. I don't know. There's a lot of things. You just never know with Fury, do you? You can't predict what he's going to do. But I do doubt whether that fight will go ahead. I hope I'm wrong, but yeah. But anyway, getting back to Usyk, a massive shout out to him, because he is a tremendous fighter, and his achievements have been immense. Can you imagine if he does beat Fury and wins that WBC title? And he's been undisputed at cruiserweight and heavyweight. It will be the first heavyweight undisputed champion since Lennox Lewis, although Lewis did not hold the lightly regarded at the time WBO title. That was lightly regarded. No, it's kind of like it was kind of like the IBO is now. Although, having said that, the IBO title is on the line between Usyk and Fury. And also, it will start a new lineage, because there's a lot of crap talked about how Fury is the lineal champion. No, he isn't. He's never been the lineal champion, because Vladimir Klitschko had all the belts except the WBC belt, which was at one point held by his brother, and they were never going to fight. But he never held the WBC. He was never undisputed. You can only have a lineage start when there's an undisputed championship. When there's an undisputed champion, I should say. Now, if Usyk beats Fury and he's got all the belts, or if Fury beats Usyk, that's the start of the lineage. This idea that Fury is a lineal champion has always been absolute garbage. I've done videos on it. I'm not going to rehash it, but it's just a load of trash. It's never been the case. Never been the case. So, what do you think? Let me ask you a few questions. You leave your comments below. Do you think Fury Usyk 1 will go ahead? If you do, and Fury wins, do you think they'll honour the contract and have a second fight, or will Fury move on to Joshua? Number 3, third question. This is your homework, you say. Number 3, if Usyk wins, do you think there'll be a second Fury fight? Let's be honest, there ain't going to be a lot of demand for Usyk Joshua 3, is there, after the first 2 fights? So let me know your opinions, plural. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, hit the like button as well. I do appreciate your time as always. And looking forward to reading your comments, and bye for now.